gentlemen, if you'll all be seated and we'll get underway. I don't know whether we're a slight bit ahead or a slight bit behind, but as they say, we are where we are. So you're all very welcome to the Killarney Towers Hotel and Leisure Centre Killarney Historic Rally launch this afternoon. The new headquarters and new beginnings, I suppose, and it is great. Firstly, I introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. My name is Martin Walsh, and I write for the Irish Examiner, Echo, Southern Star and Most Important News, and do some work as well for RT Radio during the year. We've had a difficult season in rallying, and I think it would be remiss of us if we didn't take a 1 minute to observe and think about absent friends since last year. Thank you, everybody. Now, just a final piece of housekeeping. You might turn off your phones or just turn them on to silent during the course of the launch. We have apologies from the Sergeant in Charge, Dermot O'Connell. So we'll get underway, and our first speaker of the evening is John O'Donoghue, the last Cathaoirleach of the Killarney Municipal District, who's actually deputising for Chairperson Brendan Cronin, who I am told is celebrating his 40th anniversary, so that's a good excuse. So, Cathaoirleach, our last Cathaoirleach, John.
Díomh Carda agus fáilte rómh go léir cuid an céiliúir seánú. Is mór an óir domsa a bheith ansá I bhur measc. Chairperson, Clerk of the Course, Secretary, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincerest honour to be with you here today at the launch of the Killarney Towers Hotel Historic Rally 2023. Motorsport in Kerry has a long and storied past, and Killarney and District Motor Club has played as large a role as any in writing that colourful history. It is a club with a rich history, a vibrant present and a promising future. When the original founding members met in O'Shea's pub and then, before retiring to O'Neill's garage to discuss the setting up of the club, the typical thing to say at occasions such as this is that they probably had no idea of the huge success the club would go on to be. However, I feel it is far more likely that these early pioneers had both a vision and an expectation that included the club becoming the enormous success it is today. Since its inception in 1996, the historic rally has held a very, very special place in that success. As long as humans have consciously thought, one of the great philosophical questions has always been, who are we and how did we come to be here? Some find the answer through faith, others through philosophy, science, meditation, all the different disciplines. I feel that in any walk of life, to know both who we are and where we are going, we need to know where we came from. To that end, it is appropriate and extremely important that the cars from bygone years, and of course those who drove them, are not forgotten. If you will excuse the pun, they are the ones who drove us to be where we are today. The historic rally gives salute to those who came before us and affords younger drivers the opportunity to drive a car that may be lacking some of the bells and whistles of a modern rally car, but it helps foster an appreciation of the skills of those who blazed the trail before them. It is proving a hugely popular discipline, a fact backed up by the number of entrants showing up each year, as well as the numerous excellent sponsors who can see the value of being associated with such a prestigious event. I used the word pioneer earlier to describe the founding members of the club, and I would believe that they would be pleased to see that the club is still leading the way as pioneers by hosting the only dedicated historic event in the country. We have the most beautiful natural driving venue in the country, and it is only fitting that the rally staged upon it is run by such a progressive and capable committee. The reinstatement of a nighttime element this year is further testament to the determination of club members to continue to diversify in order to prosper and grow. To the drivers and navigators who will be on the starting ramp in a few weeks, I wish you all the best with the competition. I hope that your pace will be good and your line true, not to mention your engine and gearboxes staying sound. Be loud, be proud, and may you all stay between the ditches. I have no doubt that the 2023 Killarney Towers Hotel Historic Rally, which promises to be bigger and better than ever, will prove to be a huge success. On behalf of Killarney Municipal District, I thank you for bringing this wonderful event to our town and surrounding area, and I wish you all every good fortune for the rally. Ganairi and Talit Galera, Scorpina Magwood.
Thank you, John, for those kind words. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to invite on stage to address you the chairperson of the Killarney District Motor Club, Tom Randalls.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome you all here today. I'm not going to say much because Anthony had a big speech there and he's meant to do most of the talking. So, no, this is another fabulous event, the 2023 rally, and Anthony was COC for the last rally. It was very successful, and this one will hopefully be as equally successful. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our new sponsor, the O'Donoghue Ring Group, the Towers Hotel, and Alan Ring, whose part has been competing for many years in rallying, and has been second in this rally for the last 2 years. So maybe this year he might get the number 1 slot. So a round of applause for Alan Ring there, people involved in this rally. This rally has been a very successful rally for the last 10 years, and I'd like to pay a tribute to our former sponsor, and who brought this rally onto the big stage with television coverage and everything, and he's sitting down there, Mike O'Mahony. Mike has retired now, but thank you from Rintykill, Ireland. This rally has come a long way and to the success that it is today, and we get full interest now to people banging down the doors to get into this rally. So thank you, Mike, for the years of success in the past. And just for a moment on the club, I'm very proud to be chairman of this club. This club is going very well at the moment. There's an awful lot of new things coming on stream now, and we've KDMC 2, which is bringing the youth into the club, and there's many more things. But we'll leave that now for another day. So I'll thank you all again, and I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Tom. As Tom alluded to, the Killarney District Motor Club has a new sponsor for this iconic event, and a warm welcome to Brian Lawler, the General Manager of the O'Donoghue Ring Group. Brian.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian Lawler, the Group General Manager for the O'Donoghue Ring Collection. On behalf of myself, our Managing Director Gemma Ring, and the rest of the O'Donoghue Ring Collection, we're delighted to have the Killarney Towers as lead sponsor for the 27th Killarney Historic Rally. This unique rally was the vision of the late Maurice Nagle, who founded the event in 1996. Rally driving lends itself to a unique skill, from a technical approach to a courageous mindset. The Killarney Historic Rally has best-in-class motorist talents as seen from years gone by. It is still Ireland's only event to cater solely for historic rally cars, with an impressive 190 plus entrants this year, as this special rally continues to go from strength to strength. Killarney is home to 100,000 welcomes and one of Ireland's top destinations for domestic and international tourism, with participants and spectators who travel the length and breadth of the country and further afield. It's no secret that businesses are geared up to host this monumental calendar event that we are fortunate to witness in our small but mighty town. Not only is this event special for our participants, but spectators can also enjoy the experience with part of the rally taking place in the town centre during Christmas in Killarney this year on December 3rd also. We hear our own Alan Ring, a family member of the O'Donoghue collection, and Adrian DC are in the running for a win this year, so no pressure on the two lads. In the last two historic rallies, Alan and Adrian have finished second overall, 2022 to Johnny Greer, and in 2021 second to the brilliant Craig Green, whose memory we fondly reflect on as the event approaches. With hospitality at the core of our ethos and the Killarney Towers Hotel located in the heart of it all, along with our wider collection of bars, restaurants and hotels, we look forward to welcoming everybody who is involved. No doubt the weekend will be a great success. It's an honour to support and collaborate with the organisers, including Alan Ring, Anthony O'Connor, Damien Price, Liam Cronin, Tom Randalls and Paul Nagel. We look forward to seeing you all over the weekend, and to each of you on the day, Connery and College. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. The rally on the first Saturday of December is a counting round of 3 championships. Firstly, of course, it's the opening round of the 2025 historic Irish Tarmac Championship. And there's no doubt that in the last decade, and particularly I suppose in the last 5 or 6 years, that the growth of historic rallying and this event have been in tandem with each other. And I don't think it's only until recent years that people realise the true talent of the drivers. There was a view that historic rallying was for people that were past it, but anybody who wins the Killarney Historic Rally, or indeed any historic rally of the rounds of the Irish Tarmac Championship, does so on merit because they are very good drivers. So just to tell you a bit more about the historic championship, I call on Coleman Hegarty, the chairperson of the TROA.
Thank you, Martin. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be back here in Killarney again and be welcomed by the KDMC for the historic rally. As Martin alluded to there a little while ago, the historic rally holds a unique place in the Irish Tarmac Championship because it's actually the first round of the 2024 historic championship. The historic category of the championship is an extremely vibrant and important part of the championship. It's hotly contested by competitors, a lot of overseas competitors, a lot of local competitors, a lot of Irish competitors. And in 2023, at the end of 22, the beginning of 23, we made decisions within the championship to go for category sponsors as opposed to one title sponsor. And we have a new category sponsor to announce this year for the historic category. It's Sherwood Engines. Anybody that's rallying will know Sherwood Engines. It's an engine building specialist company in the UK. So they are the category sponsors for the new category sponsors for the historic category. And we'd like everybody that can to support our sponsors, obviously, because what goes around comes around. So if you're in the way of buying an engine or doing something with an engine, contact Sherwood Engines. Thanks again to everybody for inviting us and for having us part of the championship, and we look forward to a great weekend. And you know, it's a fantastic rally, as other speakers alluded to. It's the only solely historic event in the Irish calendar, and it's keenly look forward to by all competitors and championships and all people, and we're all looking forward to a fantastic weekend down here in early December. So thanks again for having me, and I'd like to wish Anthony and his crew an enjoyable and safe weekend on the 2nd of December, or the weekend of the rally. Thank you.
Thank you, Coleman. Well, I suppose if there is a first, it also means there has to be a last or a final, and the event on December the 2nd is also the final round of the IPS Packaging Southern 4 Rally Championship, the historic category of that. And there to tell you more about this, I call on this chairperson, John Butterburn.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank Killarney District Card Club for having me down here today to just say a few brief words about the IPS Packaging Southern Fort Championship. We are indeed the last round. I suppose it started in Clonakilty and went on to Killarney and with Killarney and Red Rock, and we're back down here now again. We had a Fastnet a couple of weeks ago, and looking forward to the last round here. I suppose we have not as many entries in the historic as we would like to have in the championships, and I suppose you talk about the growth of historics. Killarney have done wonders to promote it and bring it to where it is in this rally, and I suppose I would like to see our national and international rallies maybe promoted a little bit more, and certainly the Southern Fort to try and get it up there a little bit more, because there's a lot of talent out there. And I suppose where the Southern Fort is, there's at the present moment Father Walsh and Grace Walsh have leaders, and Duncan Williams is second in it, and there's very little between them. I don't think he can. I think the Father Welsh is actually going to win it out because the points are structured that way. I would like to thank all the clubs who have supported the Southern Fort during the year, and I would also like to take this opportunity to wish Killarney and Anthony and all his team a very safe and an enjoyable weekend, and thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And the third championship that the rally is part of is the Moriarty Central Car Sales Kingdom of Kerry Championships, and I'd like to call on, he's already out of the trap, Sean Moriarty to address you.
Thank you, Martin. Just a quick kind of wrap up of what's, as some of the championships are coming to the end of the season, and the Moriarty Central Car Sales Kingdom Kerry is coming to an end as well with the historic rally. It's a unique championship in the fact that it's the only county championship in any county in the whole country, and anyone involved in any sport will tell you that the county medal is the one to have, and it's become a kind of a sought after championship and have your name on the winning drivers and winning co-drivers trophy at the end of the season. But this is the last round of the championship, but I suppose the most important part for us then is the whole idea of the championship is to bring the two clubs, Killarney District Motor Club and Kerry Motor Club, together, encourage their members to do more local rallies, and just to create a little social scene around that. And the social scene then kind of reaches its peak on December 27th, when we hold the annual prize giving ceremony in the Anvil Bar in Keele, Castlemaine, and everybody's welcome to that to celebrate a year of Kerry Motorsport. And the best of luck to all competitors, the organising team, and we look forward to seeing everybody back here on the first weekend in December. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. I suppose there was a time when a lot of people just viewed rallying as a sport, but gladly that image has changed over the last decade or 2 decades, and I think television has helped enormously to do that, because the sport and the tourism together are the product of Irish motorsport. And I think in a way it's sad that we don't have television coverage, but that's a story for another day. But the first weekend of December, Killarney will be buzzing both from the Killarney Festival weekend and also from the rallying. And I think the best person to explain the value of all that is Niall Keller, who represents Killarney Chamber. So Niall, please. Niall with us? No? Maybe the last caller would just like to say a few words on the value of tourism to Killarney and the value, associated with the rally, just for 2 minutes.
No, this is putting it up to me. It was a lot easier when I had the sheet of paper in front of me, lads. No, it is. It's no secret. Everybody here obviously knows the importance and the value of tourism to the county of Kerry and to the Killarney area in particular. You only have to look at, including this fine building that we're in at the moment, look around the town at the amount of hotels, the amount of bars, the amount of restaurants, guest houses. I actually believe there isn't another place in the country with as many facilities for tourists as there is in Killarney, in comparison with the size of the town. And things like the rally, they bring a huge numbers into the town, and I think this rally that we're looking at now, in particular, I think the historic rally holds such a unique and special place in the hearts of rally fans, and even I know an awful lot of people from the area who mightn't have a huge interest in motorsport ordinarily. The Rally of the Lakes, even though it's the big event of the year, that mightn't necessarily be their thing, but they will come out to watch the historic cars, because I think there's a sense of nostalgia associated with them, and all of those people coming into the town are bringing money with them, they're filling beds, like they're hugely important to the town. It's great that we have a town that can cater for events of this magnitude. So I say long may it continue that events such as the historic rally continue coming to the town and bringing such large numbers with them. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John. It's always great to get a politician to talk impromptu, because then you cut out everything that they had time to think about, so well done. Another aspect of the rally is the role the civil defence plays within the rally itself, both in the Rally of the Lakes and the historic rally. So I'd like to invite on stage, representing Kerry Civil Defence Officer Tom Brosnan.
Good evening, everyone. I suppose, just like the councillor there earlier, I was just asked a while ago to make a couple of words in regard to the rally. I'm delighted over 23 years to be associated with the rallies, from the Rally of the Lakes to the historics, even to our neighbours in West Cork with the Fastnet. I suppose a bit of politics have played through the years with Motorsport Ireland and our Civil Defence Department in crewing the ambulances and stuff like that, but hopefully it'll settle down and we'll get involved in more operational stuff with the rallies. It will take time. I know from Dermot over the years, I was always a positive thinker with the rallies, and I hope we can keep that association going. I suppose civil defence nationally wouldn't be really involved with rallies. Locally here, as I said, I've done it over the last 23 years, and I hope it may last long into the future. So I look forward to the day in December when we have the rally going, and our crews will be well prepared and ready to go. And I suppose over the next couple of years, hopefully, we can support the rallies here in Kerry. So I wish you all the best of luck, Anthony, with the rally, and I suppose the local civil defence unit and associated with it, and may it last. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Tom. I suppose when it comes to events, the local element of an event can never be forgotten, and I think the value of it, a lot of people don't really understand it, only those actually within winning their local event. And I suppose the past number of years, somebody's been trying to win it all the time. A few years ago, we had a winning co-driver from the club, Paul Nagel, and that was a lifetime of achievement really, because it was the one event that he wanted to win. And you know, so at the moment we don't have another winner, but I'm sure the weekend of early December might sort that out. But firstly, and in tandem, speaking about locals, Paul, as you know, went on to win the 2019 Irish Tarmac Championship with the late Craig Breen, and this year we've had another winning co-driver from Killarney, Noel O'Sullivan, who captured the Irish Tarmac Championship trophy with Colin Devine, and they've also had a tremendous year, finishing runner-up in the National Series. So I think Killarney has always a great history of co-drivers, but I think everybody would love to see a Killarney driver winning. It's come close as far as second at the minute, and who knows, maybe in a couple of weeks' time that other step will be climbed. So I know he doesn't like speaking, so I just ask him to call up here for a few seconds. Alan Rain, wherever you are, Alan, just come up here and chat. I know you'd like the ground to open up in front of you there, but we won't be too hard on you. I know, I suppose, with the O'Donoghue Ring Group sponsoring this event, it's a different aspect of it, and that's been covered, but I'm sure it makes you proud as well, though, for the involvement of the company.
Obviously we're rallying on time. The club came to us, so we're happy to support the club, and it's nice that I'm doing the rally as well, so yeah, it's nice.
Historic rallying, you were rallied R5s until a few years ago, and you've taken off to historic rallying. You had the luxury, I suppose, having a lovely BMW and a nice Subaru Legacy, and if we were to be put to the pin of the collar to pick one or the other, would there be a favourite?
I think for Ireland, I think the Subaru is a better car for Ireland. The Beam is lovely, but the Subaru for the bumps and the jumps and more likely wet roads will be faster for here.
You have taken the BMW to Europe as well, and what's that experience like?
That's brilliant. We were in Belgium, we were in Italy, we did San Remo. San Remo is actually, it's a longer version of if you took the old Miles Gap and Balak Beamer. It's the same, just that's where they have everywhere. So it's like being at home.
I spoke earlier there about the recognition of drivers and rally drivers in general. I think everybody will watch a football match, they'll watch their soccer, they talk about Ronaldo or whoever else, and I think not a lot of people know really like that a good driver of what it takes. They think it's just sit in a car, they don't think about the training drivers do or anything like that. Do you think, or would you agree that in motorsport that the top drivers in particular don't get the credit they deserve for their ability?
I think if you look at the Formula 1 boys are acknowledging the top boys like Paul and Craig, where he was there, and Chris Meek. The Formula 1 boys are acknowledging that the rally boys are even a level above. So I think they're getting their recognition now a little bit.
Do you think in Ireland that we are blessed with a lot of top drivers?
I pretty well. I think obviously the boys and Noli and the boys who won the championships, the British Championship, they've done that as well. Actually, you one side mistake, Martin. Rob Duggan actually has won Killarney as a local man. So if we do it, we'll be the second ones. There are a lot of good drivers. It's not easy. You get Eamon Kelly trying to do the work scene. There's 2 or 3 more gone blank at the moment. They are trying. It's not easy.
We speak about drivers, but co-drivers, they're often the forgotten role. Paul, I'm sure, will tell you they're never forgotten if they make a mistake. But the likes of Paul, who went to the very, very top at world level, and other drivers or other co-drivers are getting there, but maybe not as quick as Paul did. Is there a faster way to get to the top, apart from having a very good driver?
I think that's Paul. Obviously, Paul's a good friend of mine and a long time. I think Noli's done very well. Maybe he's unfortunate he could have been in the world scene this year, but I think as what he's done last year and this year, I think he's top of his class. He's not in the world scene, but he probably is at the level. Maybe not quite Paul's level, but he'll get there. I think he's very close. Obviously to do what he's done, that's not easy. And like every team, there's a few more fellas down there that are friends with. The driver's fine, the car's fine, but you need a navigator. You need all 3 elements, and you need the service team, and the whole lot behind you.
It is a big team effort, and I suppose a lot of people don't realise what it takes to be successful.
Well, there is time. All the drivers, most of the drivers put training in. We're not maybe as fit as some of the other sports. But you do, if you want to be quick, you need to be match fit, physically fit, to be mentally fit. Psychology
in sport is very, very big, and I was driving out early one morning recently and I was listening to an interview about sport and even business in general, and the interviewer put it to his person that he said, look, when you're doing these things, do you prepare? And he said yes. He said just look at Johnny Sexton. He says when he takes a penalty, he breathes in 3 or 4 times, and he said because if you have negativity when you're going to take a kick, you have to dispel the negativity, and the only way you can do that is by proper breathing. But do you think in a sport that people are now beginning to look at the techniques involved in everything?
Some are. The rally's not so bad. I did circuit racing many years ago, and that was a different animal. You were fighting physically wheel to wheel, so you had to be much more of a mental. You had to be mentally fit. In rallying, you need to control what you're doing. The speed, you need to be able to run at speed, and consistently run at speed. The top guys, your likes of Noli and Callum Devine, they rarely go off. Johnny Greer, in fairness, he won last year. Like, he's a very consistent driver. Top guys rarely go off. So that is mentally controlling what you're doing.
Yes, I suppose, because if you take Noel and Callum, they had a complete championship in the tarmac, and in the national I think they did all bar one event, and I actually don't think they put a scratch in the car.
No, and like I said, that is, the top guys don't. The top guys at the top in Ireland, top in the world, maybe they do an album here and there, but the top of scorers guys, you know, you have Anthony Neil Williams comes down here, you have Johnny, you have Donny Kelly will come down. Most of those guys very, very consistent, very rarely put a mark on those cameras.
And tell me, the mind games, do they play a part?
Last year you had a few beers before and a bit of crack.
What's the psyche of somebody else about pretending something happened to you or that, or whatever, just to get a mental edge? Does that still go on a bit?
Of course it does, yeah. You stop between stages and you have the chat, and you might say you have a problem, or they'll say they have a problem, or I'm afraid of the stage, or it's never been any different.
So in a couple of weeks' time, you were second last year. Johnny will be down again. Are you hopeful?
Oh, look, I think we've been the last couple of years. We've been thereabouts with the last couple of guys. I think if you're finishing in the top three, you have a chance to win. Yeah, we have a chance. There's no guarantee. There could be somebody else apart from Johnny and myself this year that'll turn up and be quicker than us. Whoever turns up on the day, you can only compete with. Yeah, look, we're hoping.
And your plans for 2024? Now I know Dan is down there, so does it depend on Dan?
Yeah, look, I mean after the R5, we had the crash in the R5. We made a conscious decision to do the local events. I mean, Cork, Kerry, Killarney, and then we tried to do a couple of European rounds. We were lucky enough to get Sanremo this year. We'd love to do 1 or 2 more of those next year and just gain experience and enjoy it.
And maybe, who knows, you'll be going out there as the winner of the Killarney Historic Rally.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Ring. Organising events such as the Killarney Historic Rally don't happen overnight and even over weeks and months. They nearly begin once the rally is finished. 1 year, it's a year plan, and it's demanding on everybody. It's demanding financially, it's demanding physically, and I suppose the best person to tell you what this year's rally has taken out of it and the plans for this year's rally, and maybe a who's who of who's actually doing the event. So ladies and gentlemen, to tell you all that, you welcome the clerk of the course, who's just going to he's looking at his notes here, and I'm beginning to wonder, is he having second thoughts, because earlier this evening he said he had 7 pages, and I said 5 minutes, 6 minutes max, so he'll be reading at a page per minute. So ladies and gentlemen, clerk of the course, Anthony O'Connor.
Thank you, Martin. Throw away that stopwatch, please. We'll save that for the weekend of the rally. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're all very welcome here to the Killarney Plaza Hotel for our launch of the 2023 Killarney Towers Hotel Historic Stages Rally. I'm delighted to have the O'Donoghue Ring family and the brand supporting our event as our title sponsors. The O'Donoghue Ring family have 3 hotels here in Kerry. You've the Killarney Plaza, which we're in. Directly across the road here is the Killarney Avenue, or as it's known locally as the East Avenue Hotel. You've the Killarney Towers and Leisure Centre, which is just off College Street across from the Glebe Car Park. And you've their sister hotel, which is the River Island in Castle Island, which are also great supporters of Killarney District Motor Club. We have ran the Killarney Forestry Rally out of there for the last 2 years, and we're hoping to head back there again in February for our 3rd running of the event in the Castle Island area. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you to put your hands together for Alan, Magella, the Ring family and the O'Donoghue family, who've always been great supporters of the club. I suppose with any event, we have associate sponsors then that have been associated with the club for a long time, and one of those sponsors is the Killarney Advertiser, or Casey Brent and Cormac Casey. At this stage, I think I've Cormac cracked up, ringing him looking for this pull-up or this banner or this sign to be printed. And Cormac also prints our door cards, the programme, all the safety literature for both this event, the International, which is the Rally of the Lakes, and also for the forestry event. and nothing is ever a problem to Cormac or his team above at Casey Prent, and you can ring Cormac at any hour of the day or night if you're stuck for something, and he'll shoot in from home, put a printer up and running, and just hand you out what you're looking for. And I know we're a pain in the backside at times, Cormac, but from the bottom of my heart, and I think I speak on behalf of all the members of the club here, thank you sincerely for all your help over the years. This year, the Reen family in Rathmore have come on as an associate sponsor as well. John and Timmy and Johnny and Helen out there, they've always been great supporters of the club. I remember back in the early days of the Rally of the Lakes with the Hatso 4 tracks whizzing around the place, and it has progressed on from there, and as late as last week there is now 4 brands out in Reen's car sales in Rathmore. So you have Peugeot, which they've always been associated with, you have DS, you have Jeep, and you have Fiat. So they have a fantastic lineup of cars out there. And again this year they're going giving us course cars for the people that are going out on the road, and vans. And nothing again out there ever seems to be a problem. We look for a tow truck if we're stuck for one to go in and cover a stage, and some of the lads outside, some of the Reen family will hop into a truck and away with them. And it's great to have that local support and the local connection, plus the fact that the Reen family done a lot of competing in the events here in Kerry and outside of the county for many years. And I was actually down the backyard there quite lately, and I was heartbroken to see the rally car, and it didn't look in its former glory. So I would call on Mike Shea down there in the next couple of weeks to be pulling that thing up into the workshop and maybe have it here for this time next year. There's a challenge for you, Mike. So again, thanks to John Reen, Timmy, and all the rest of the Reen family for their continued support. Again, following on from that, like everything, it's very, very hard to run a rally nowadays with the cost of everything is going up and up. I suppose the one thing this year is the 4% increase in VAT rate, or 4.5%. Everything adds up at the end of the day, and we're very lucky to be able to hold on to our state sponsors with the likes of Trainers, the car dismantlers in Northern Ireland. We've Quilter Insulation, a local company, Towing Equipment Limited, who are a Dublin-based company who do roof racks, light bars, towing hitches, fit-out kits for vans and all that. And another local man out the road here, Brian Glover from BG Motors. Brian has been a continued supporter of all the events here between ads and the programme, and again he'll give us the use of a tow truck and stuff like that. So without the likes of those people putting their few bob into the pot to help us run the event, rallying would become unsustainable for competitors, because you'd be looking at double the entry fee for what we're charging if we didn't have the goodwill of sponsors, people taking ads in the programme. And we can't forget the likes of those businesses here around the town and outside the town that take an ad in the programme, and they all deserve our support throughout the year, because without those ads or without the support that we get here in the town, it would not be possible to run events without that sponsorship. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you to give a huge round of applause for the people that are supporting us over the years here in the town of Killarney. As our previous speakers discussed there earlier, this is the 27th running of the historic rally, who was started out by Paul Nagel's father Morris, and Morris and myself are good friends. He has called me once or twice a week at work for the chats, and you know, it's an honour to be able to run this event and carry on that gauntlet for another year, and we'll see how we get on. I suppose last year was a peak year. We started for the first time ever 150 cars on the first stage, and I'm hoping that we'll start 150 cars again this year on our first stage. There's huge interest in the event, and a huge interest from all over. We've people coming from Belgium, Australia, the USA, North and South of Ireland, and not to forget all our own local rally people here within the county. And it's great it's great to see it, and it's great, you know, when you're heading into the event. I know there's the bit of competition between the drivers and that, but there's also great camaraderie. It's one big happy family the weekend of the event, and it's great to see that, and it's great to be part of that. I suppose leading on from that, Martin discussed there earlier about television coverage. I suppose the one thing with rallying in this country is we don't get enough of television coverage from our own stations here, the likes of RTE and Virgin and all that. Now we are televising this event. There will be a full hour-long programme on the event, which will take in the town of Killarney as well and help boost tourism in Killarney for the following year. And we'll take in the Christmas parade and that as part of our TV programme. And it's great that to get that out there. And just to give you a few statistics from last year, there was over 30 million subscribers to what went out in last year's television programmes, and that's a huge figure. Like, so what you have to think about is, for the population of Ireland, you have an extra 24 or 25 million outside of that have seen Killarney in all its glory last December. So it's great, and we thank On the Limit Sports and that for supporting the club, and in fairness they put a good show together. So I suppose, look, I'll discuss what the event is about quite briefly, because I see Martin is stamping his foot here. I think I'm running out of time. So I suppose, look, we're going to run 8 stages this year. Last year I ran 7 stages, and fellas said to me I was mad to try and take on Malls Gap 3 times last year. But look, we pulled it off. It's probably a record that Malls Gap was rallied 3 times in the one day. Unfortunately this year, due to an incident over the tunnel there where a section of the road is after collapsing, we couldn't take the risk with including Malls Gap in this year's event, and I got for and against that. A lot of people seem to be happy that we're going to a new loop of stages, something different, something new. And to discuss those stages, I suppose we'll start on Saturday morning here in town with the first car will be out of Park Ferma at around 9 o'clock. They'll go to the Lever Container Crane Factory back in Fossa for service, and they'll go out and do a loop of 3 stages, which will involve Drummond, Cara Lake and Shanara back into service. They'll go back out and complete that loop once more, another service, and then they're going to go out to Rockfield, and that'll be completed in daylight before a service halt again to give guys a chance to put on lighting pods and spot lamps and stuff like that, and out to run Rockfield in darkness, and it'll be back into town again here for the top 3 finishers in each section. Unfortunately, we're kind of clashing coming into town with the parade and stuff like that, so the number of people coming back into town will be limited, but we'll still have that bit of a party atmosphere here in town after the event. And plus, on Friday night we have our ceremonial start, which will be directly here in front of the plaza where the cars are at the moment, and all competitors will be welcome to attend that. So I'm not going to keep you much longer. I just have a few people to thank, and that's me nearly done, I think. I suppose, look, to run the rally, we can't run it without the goodwill and the help of residents along the stages, and it's with their goodwill they allow us close roads for 6-7 hours at a time so that we can go out there and have our fun, and it's greatly appreciated. I work quite closely here with the Town Council, especially with John Ahern and Tim O'Sullivan and Eileen O'Connor, and in fairness to them, they're very helpful. We have a new format for the ceremonial start this year, and a bit of tweaking and stuff like that to be done, but nothing seems to be an issue, and we're working side by side with them, and it's great that the club has that rapport with the likes of the local authority and also the likes of Lever Container Cranes, that they welcome us back year on year. I suppose the other people that we have to mention out there, which are very, very important, you have the rally rescue people, which are more or less a voluntary service that come down to each event every year, and they do all the events in Ireland. The ambulance providers, I'd especially like to welcome back Tom Brosnan and Kerry Civil Defence, who, as Tom said earlier, due to differences with MI and civil defence nationally. It was kind of hard for them to turn out vehicles because there was a bit of unsurety about this, that and the other thing, but it's great to have the civil defence back. And I think Tom might correct me, I was a volunteer with the civil defence myself for maybe 10 or 11 years, and the amount of things you learn in organisations like the civil defence, they're life skills that you can take with you forevermore. So Tom, thank you very much for coming back to our side. It's very much appreciated. Along with the civil defence, the Irish Red Cross and car ambulance service will be providing us with ambulances, and we have a full fleet of doctors and advanced paramedics under the control of our Chief Medical Officer, which is Dr. Fiona Kelly from Castletownbere. Fiona has been a great supporter of the club for the last 10 or 12 years, and she has acted as our CMO on all events that we run here in Killarney. I suppose heading on from the list of services, we need to put the stages together. No stage will run without the marshals, stage commanders, timekeepers, the people looking after the service, and especially my own committee and my deputy down there, Damien, wherever he's hiding. He's very shy, but I think by the time I'm finished I'll have the bit of shyness knocked out of him. Don't mind shaking your head down there. So look, they're a great bunch of lads and lasses to work with. I send them emails and stuff at all hours of the morning and all hours of the night, and when I wake up the following morning, or I shoot into work and open the browser, there's a reply to what they're asking, and there could be like this 5 or 6 pages of typing after being corrected and stuff like that. So it's very much appreciated, girls. I must also thank Anne-Marie and the staff of the Roads Department in Kerry County Council, who are very good to us again, with the likes of helping us get road closing orders over the line and guiding us and steering us in the right direction. And at times it's hard to steer us, but there's a man down there smiling up at me, and I don't know how he figures between L4, 5, 6 and L3 something and something else, but Liam Cronin has been looking after the road closing orders for us for quite a number of years now, and Liam, well done and thank you very much. Our scrutiny area will be using the same area as we done for the international rally last May, which will be opened by Cronin's yard up in Coolkishlock. So I'd like to thank Mike and his staff above there for allowing us to use the facility once more. The Gardaí also deserve a good bit of praise. Sergeant Dermot O'Connell and Inspector Gary Carroll in the Roads Policing Unit have been by my side since I took over the running of the event, and they've been great help. Unfortunately, due to a number of different things on today, that they had to send their apologies, so they're still rang and they're still fully behind us and fully committed to helping us get the event up and running. I suppose the other thing is the likes of the Road Safety Authority. They deserve good credit for the amount of work they do. The media personnel and our photographers who capture every moment of the event, and special thanks there to Martin, as always very good to us in the national press, and Shawnee Moriarty, he's hiding down there as well. Shawnee is very good in the local papers and in his own website, Kerry Motorsport News. We get great promotion from him. Our PRO, our club PRO and the PR team, Colin O'Mara, Sean Moriarty, and you have Dave Leslie down there as well. They do an awful lot of work behind the scenes that kind of sometimes goes unnoticed but isn't unnoticed. So lads, thanks very much. I must thank my boss outside for allowing me to run the rally once more from work. I'm kind of lucky that Mike is involved in sponsoring the Kingdom of Kerry Championship and stuff like that, and I kind of get a free rein for a couple of weeks leading up to the event to try and put it all together. So I'd like to thank him for affording me the opportunity to stand here again today. So I suppose, look, I'm nearly at the end of it. I see tears running down some of your faces there. Our rally programme, hoping to have it out next weekend, all going well. If not, early the following week. I know I'm putting Shawnee under a bit of pressure down there now in Cormac. but hopefully we'll have it out. If not, late next weekend, early the following week. So look, to wrap up, I'd like to wish each and every competitor that's coming to Killarney to support the event a very safe and enjoyable event here in Killarney. And I look forward to meeting you all over the weekend and enjoying a bit of crack afterwards in the Killarney Avenue. And is there anyone here old enough to remember what the nightclub's name was over in the Killarney Avenue? Jeez, there's a lot of hands went up there all of a sudden. And the slow said, who was the resident DJ there? So that's it. I must thank you again for showing out in such huge numbers. So onwards and upwards, and we'll see you between here and the 2nd of December with God's holy help. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Anthony. I think we have concluded within the hour, which is probably a record for the rally launch of the historic rally. When I look over there to my right and see that wonderful array of silverware, well, there are going to be a number of lucky people in a couple of weeks' time will be presenting with them at the Avenue Hotel. But a lot of work to do between this and then. And of course, the weekend of the rally, we hope that everybody, competitors and spectators, will have a safe weekend. So there are refreshments available here to my left. So all that's left for me to do is to wish you a safe home whenever you're going home this evening, and look forward to seeing everybody again on the first weekend of December. Thank you.